Hello, guys, and welcome back to Pop Culture Addicts. I am Tim, your host of this here nerd show, and I just want to remind you that you are watching and or listening to a show that is made by this nerd for all you nerds. So I hope you guys have a good time with today's interview. Now, our guest today is an author and a satirical writer. I enjoy some of the satire that I see that he's put out. Is it satire or is it sarcasm? We're going to talk about that. Either way, I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun with the things that I've read. But he's also a writer of novels, which include his two novels, Partition, Critical Era. Let's say that right. Partition, Critical Era, not Error. I'll get that right one of these days. And his latest entitled Welcome to the Deep Estate. You'll find that his novels weave science fiction, fantasy, horror, and comedy together for an experience that will hit a very solid 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, according to user reviews. Now, in our chat tonight, we're going to discuss his origin story, growing up around Hollywood and setting his own path, his writing process, and how sarcastic or satirical writing, depending on how you want to call it, differs from novels and a few other things. Now, if you're new here, please don't forget to click that like and follow button. That makes sure that you get notified whenever we have new content, and you'll get to see who is the next person that we're talking to. At this time, though, let's welcome author Kevin Kane to Pop Culture Addicts. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Hello.
Hello. All right, bud. Like I said in pre-show, I'm excited to have you here. I've been watching you online for a while, and I've seen some of your threads posts have been very entertaining to me. And I started checking out some of the stuff that you're doing, and I went, man, this guy seems like he'd be a lot of fun to chat with. So I was very excited when you said yes, and I was like, yay, we're going to get to play and talk, and it'll be a good time for everybody. And if not for everybody, at least for me. So
I also appreciate the solid 4 out of 5 stars because personally, whenever I see a 5-star review, I pretty much just disregard it because that feels like there's no thought into it. It's just, I loved it, 5 stars. 4 out of 5, there's nuance to that. I appreciate that. There's some flaws I can work on.
absolutely.
And yeah, 2 stars are the worst. Fucking drive me insane.
Yeah, I think, and in today also, I also look at it this way. In today's age of the keyboard warrior, if you can get a 4-star review out of somebody, I think you're doing something really good. You've got some solid work there, and I've told a couple other people anything over a 4 to me is damn near a 5-star anyway. So, just because of the way people are nowadays, I think that the closer you get to that, the better off you are. But that's just me. So.
Yeah, no, it's. I think it's also the polar opposite too, where you get the 1 stars are the natural, just I hate it sort of review bombing stuff.
Sure.
And like that again, don't put much thought into it. Especially because when you're writing satire or comedy, like you're gonna get that one offended person, and that happens.
I can believe that. Yeah. How dare you offend my thin skin? So, yeah.
Always for like the weirdest things too. It's just.
All right. So let's jump into this here. My very first question that I ask everybody who ever comes on the show, and I do this for 2 reasons. Number one, I like to know what makes people tick, why they do what they do, and more importantly, what keeps them doing what they do. And then secondly, as you may have heard in the introduction, I'm a bit of a nerd, and nerds love a good origin story. So in the origin story of Kevin Kane, what made you say, I need to be a writer?
Oh God. I love telling stories. I love stories. Like my life revolves around pop culture and just stories, consuming it. And then it's always been like the thing that I live and breathe. I want to contribute to it is, I think, was my natural reaction. And then on Top of that is some good old fashioned crushing existential dread. Like I don't know what at what point it was, but I was looking at um some gravestones. I think I was at my grandma's funeral, and I was noticing the care of the gravestones, and just kind of seeing how people were disappearing as time goes on, and people moved on. And then at the same time, I was reading some book by some old dead guy, and I'm like, I care a lot more about this book than I am those people. So I think I should be working on these instead of a decent gravestone.
Okay. All right. So you said that your life revolves around pop culture. So let's talk about fandoms. What were some of the fandoms that inspired you early on that not so much that made you say, I want to write exactly that thing, but gave you inspiration to look at writing as an outlet for artistic expression?
Oh God, easily Star Wars, especially with my family. Like my dad working with LucasArts and Lucasfilms for
Mhm.
decades. Like even before that, he was a huge Star Wars nerd. He definitely raised us up in that. Star Trek to a certain extent. It always kind of felt more like the forced dad thing. Like you're gonna sit here and you're gonna enjoy this, and was not much of a fan. But like the general world building, the way my brain works, I can just soak that stuff up and just keep it there in the back of my head for untold amount of time. Like I always just like I wanted to do that. Like I wanted to create my own world. I wanted to do my own world building and like just have subset of useless world building facts for my own world, which is
Okay.
interesting. It's interesting. Like I keep my ego out of it and keep it to just pure personal enjoyment. But like
Okay.
just I like yeah, just like world building and just seeing those worlds be built on page is always just an absolute joy.
Okay. So I'm wondering for you, is Star Trek that something that you had to grow into appreciation of? Because like for me as a Star Wars fan growing up, I was always more drawn to Star Wars because Star Wars, in my opinion, always had more action and things. When I was younger, that's what attracted me. And as I gotten older, I still love Star Wars. I'm still a massive Star Wars nerd, but I've developed an appreciation for Trek that I didn't have as a young man because I appreciate the stories and the nature of the characters more.
Oh, 100%. I'm on the exact same page. Like, my favorite episodes were always the ones with the Borg or the fucking terrifying alien species that was harvesting organs. Like, I think it was either Voyager, whatever, Borg, mostly the Borg. Like
Okay.
the action packed ones where they're shooting and stuff was the ones I gravitated towards as a kid.
Hmm.
And I think that was just mostly like Star Wars is much more kid friendly. Like you don't have to sit and think of just deep concepts that you get with Star Trek sometimes.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think a lot of Trek is, and I say this to people all the time that, and I say this very lovingly about Star Wars, but it's very rarely up until recent years where I never walked away from a Star Wars movie or show and go, I really need to think about how that affects the world around me. Whereas with Trek, there was a lot of episodes, even going back into the original 60s episodes, where I was, I'd watch them and go, wow, that's still apropos for today. And that still fits today. And how does that affect our world today? And then, you sit there and you just start pontificating on all these things.
I often find myself thinking about Star Wars more, but now it's just a very long list of complaints. Like I I've been like trying to force myself to just let it go. Like it's been years, just let it go. But the new trilogy has been like it's gonna be something on my deathbed I bitch and complain about. Like I cannot get over that whole ordeal. Just one scene in the Millennium Falcon with Han Solo, Luke, Leia, and Chewie. Just one scene. They couldn't even do that. Like that's all I wanted.
It's a very
Oh
common
god.
complaint, actually, especially among older Star Wars fans who grew up on the original trilogy,
Yeah,
myself included.
yeah, same here. It's yeah, it's just I look back at it, I'm just like, my God, they squandered the last moments we had with the full cast, killed them off one by one with some really kind of useless death scenes, and then left us with Palpatine somehow returning, and that third film, which is that fucking MacGuffin with the goddamn dagger. I will never get over that. Just the logic of that ancient Sith dagger that can't be ancient at all. Because it's like, you got this dagger that's written in an ancient, dead fucking language. And they're going on this Indiana style Jones trek to get this ancient dagger in the ruins of the Death Star, which is not that old. It's only like what, 30, 40 years old since the Death Star blew up.
Yes,
So
not ancient.
some dude forged an ancient dagger that is not that ancient in a dead language, hid it in some relatively recent ruins, and had to do it in such a way that the bullshit architecture of the Death Star remains lined up with the stars and the dagger and this is the only way to get to that Sith planet that they're trying to get to, which currently has like 200 fucking galactic class star destroyers on it. Each one has like 200,000 people crewing it, which means you need twice as many like supplying it. And so like I'm just the supply lines, the logistics, and all that make no sense for something that requires a fucking dagger to get to. Like, oh my god,
I could rant about this for hours on end, especially because, like, how did they know that like, I don't mind. I really enjoyed Force Awakens, and there are some things about Last Jedi that I don't enjoy, but overall I really do enjoy that movie. And then we get
I
to
know it's controversial to say, but I think Last Jedi was the best one out of the bunch.
I
And
agree. I agree.
I know like there was a lot of mythologizing. It kind of felt like we spent so long watching the original trilogy that it became like the New Testament. And then in the New Testament, Jesus was doing a bunch of un-Jesus-y things, and we're like, that's not our Jesus. And like, but I liked it. It had character growth. It was unexpected. Like, if there was some more connective tissue to the three films, I think it would have made a great second film. I
You're
mostly
not
blame
wrong.
J.J. Abrams for all of that because, like, Rian Johnson, like, everything about that trilogy felt like fan service without any ounce of protein to it. And then like his vision and the things he added to it, that's a really cool idea. Is like Ray being no one, nobody, just
Mhm.
some orphan street rat that just is rising in power and becoming the hero is such a more powerful story than this generational genocidal blood feud going on between Palpatine and the Skywalkers. Like it was,
Yeah.
I don't know. It takes. She's not special. She's just the spawn of Palpatine. Also, I'm sorry, but I don't want to imagine Palpatine fucking. Like that is the most horrific. I did not need to know that man fucks at all. Like, holy shit. Like, that is a horror story right there. Like, I don't want to know like anything about that.
Oh, that's nightmare fuel. Okay. Yeah. That's a thought I'm not going to get rid of anytime soon. And I will drop you a line every now and then just to let you know that I hate you for putting that in my head.
It's been haunting me for a while.
So you've just shared it. That's all. Okay, I get it. All right. We got to move topics because I can't think about that any longer.
I completely forgot how we got there, but
yeah, I'll figure it out once we go back and I go back for editing and all that. Okay. Speaking of Star Wars and such, and you talked about your dad. Let's talk about you growing up in and around the Hollywood scene, and having your dad who was involved in that as a voice actor. You know, very. And my condolences for his recent passing. You know, because he did such amazing work as, you know, and for those who don't know, Kevin's father was Tom Kane, amazing voice actor. If we're talking about Star Wars and in Star Wars Clone Wars, he's the voice of Admiral Yularen. He's the narrator. He's Yoda, and there's a few other things that he voiced along the way inside of Star Wars. That's just Star Wars. But how did you grow up and decide to set yourself apart to become an artist who stood on his own merits? What did you do to do that?
I always kind of like looked at my dad and his abilities. Like, he was just kind of a freak. Like, I always kind of felt like Mozart's son in some regard, where like I did not get that magical ability to voice. I actually spent 8 years of my childhood in speech therapy for a whole bunch of problems.
Okay.
Just talking. And so I never had that ability. And he was just a weird, unique guy. It was so hard to like just him as a father was such a completely unique thing that like was so normal for me, and then everyone else around me was just like, no, that's weird. That's weird. Your dad's talking to himself in voices like all the time, like. But yeah, but yeah, it was it wasn't like I just never tried to get into voice acting.
Right.
It wasn't just something I was good at, something I could do. And I always just enjoyed telling stories, which is something I definitely got from my dad. He enjoyed sci-fi to the most absurd extent. Like, he was just burning through Pulp Fiction novels for most of his life, and it was always funny because I can't remember how many times I would be like, "Oh my god, have you read this sci-fi book?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, like 2 years ago." Like, and it was just this book that I had that I was obsessing over. Like, what was it? Adrian Tarkovsky's Children of Men. Was it not?
Okay.
No. Children of Time. And like he read it 2 years ago, just been sitting in the back of his head the entire time, and told no one about it. And then I talked to him, and suddenly he's just regurgitating like all this thoughts he's had on that book and to me, and I was just left amazed. But he always wanted to be a writer to some extent. I think it was definitely one of those what ifs
Okay.
people have in life, and much like me, has he had pretty thorough ADHD. So,
Okay.
although I'm medicated for it, he has never been, and he could just not sit still to write, and that's
Gotcha.
something
Okay.
I could do. There was a story he told back in college. He wrote this short story and gave it to his professor, who was some notable guy. I forgot who, but the professor read it and was just seriously trying to push my dad towards being an author. It's like, this is really good.
Okay.
Can you do this again, but in the length of a novella or a novel? And my dad just balked at the idea. Is like, I was pulling my hair out just to write these 18 pages. I can't do 50. I can't do 300. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I definitely got my love for storytelling from him, and my love from sci-fi, and it's always been difficult to feel like I'm charting my own path in that way. Like, I'm
Okay.
not following in his footsteps, but I'm definitely being guided by him.
That makes sense, though. It does, especially if when your father had such a large presence in your life. It sounds like, and and seeing those skill sets, come from him, and knowing that you have a variation of those skill sets, well, I can see why that would guide you for sure. But as you were developing those skill sets for yourself, were there specific challenges that you came across that you needed to address so that you could continue progressing in your own skills?
Um, yeah, it was. I started out started out screenwriting. Um, I was a film student at University of Kansas, and I did not particularly enjoy the learning portion of being in college. So I was always sitting in the back class writing these screenplays instead of listening about some guy drone on about 1930s German expressionism. And it turned out that skill that I was developing in lieu of actually paying attention was far more valuable than anything I learned there. And yeah, I had this plan of just going to LA and doing the whole screenwriting thing, and then I think the first major pitfall I had was going to a coffee shop to do my favorite thing in the world, which was to sit there and write a screenplay. And I'm sitting there writing a screenplay in LA, and I look over the guy next to me, and he's also writing a screenplay. And then the guy in front of me is also writing a screenplay. And then I just realized like every single person has Final Draft open up. I quickly learned that in LA, every single person has a screenplay, and they're all just looking for that one magical guy, the friend of a friend who's the assistant of like Robert Downey Jr. 3 years ago, like to just
Right.
like find the person they can give their pitch to. And like eventually I just kind of realized like I like getting your screenplay in the right hands is basically a lottery. Like, you just got to be
Oh,
in the right
sure. Yeah.
time, right place, finding the right guy who's willing to like grit his teeth and just be nice and give your mystery script a read. And then maybe you get there. But I just never came across that. And it came to the realization that for all these screenplays that I was writing, like I was just writing the blueprints to a story like, that required 20 to $50 million to ever see come to fruition. And that once I decided rather foolishly, hey, let's just, write a book. It's easier. Like, you got the book, it's done. No challenge there. You're done with the book. So I just switched over to writing novels, and I could be so much more indulgent with my own whims in that, and haven't looked back.
All right, that's fair. All right, and real quick for our listeners, if you're enjoying this conversation so far, don't forget to click that like and follow button. All right, so Kevin, let's talk about your book specifically, your latest to be exact. Now, if I'm hoping that you'll take a moment and explain to my listeners and viewers the premise behind Welcome to the Deep Estate and what you hope readers will gain or look forward to with your writing.
Oh, small correction. The sequel did just come out. I want to
Aha.
say like 15 days ago. It's
So I
called Take
saw
Back
that.
the.
I saw that, and I wasn't sure if that was out or if it was in pre-production or something along those lines. Like hadn't come out yet, so I didn't want to say that it was.
The ebook is out and the print
Okay.
edition is out. The audio book will be out next month. We just wrapped up recording it,
Okay.
which I'm so excited for people to listen to. It's fucking hilarious. But yeah, so welcome to the Deep Estate. It's the Deep Estate series. And welcome to the Deep Estate is the first one, then Take Back the Deep Estate is the second one.
Okay. So tell us the premise of both books, so we can kind of see what the series is about, if you don't mind.
Oh god damn it. Okay. Welcome. It's one like it's all my books. I always like the elevator pitches where I just feel like I'm falling flat on my face because I'm like I don't know how to explain this and like not sound like a psychopath.
Oh,
But
go full psychopath. Let's enjoy it.
okay. Uh, Welcome to the Deep Estate is about this slacker named John Doe who um, has a newspaper from another universe land on his doorstep. And as he's looking through this newspaper from another timeline, and it has all weird shit, in it, he finds a hidden message in it that leads to a job interview for a place called the Bureau of the Bizarre. And it's this extra government entity. Kind of like the Men in Black, they operate in liminal space. And they are basically, their job is to protect all humanity from just the weird shit that reality dukes up when it gets drunk and shits the bed. Like it's just
Okay.
like I think one of the examples is like one of those like clap ons that
Yeah.
has the force and power of a thermonuclear EMP, and all it takes is someone to just clap, and they can just turn off all the lights in the world at once. And they're the guys that step in and stop, grab that thing before anyone can plug it in, and they have just saved the
Excellent.
world time and time again. I think one of my favorite examples is the blue, black, white, gold dress that went
Oh
viral
yeah.
back in the 2000s was much more horrific than people realized. Like it was like it caused people to argue and then fight and kill each other. And the one thing no one expected, like when it just suddenly abruptly appeared, was when that person took the picture, it amplified the power via the meme and the virality of that just a thousandfold. And every single BOB in the timeline can communicate with each other. And that singular event destroyed 17% of all the timelines that are associated with each other. Trillions of people died from this fucking dress. And our timeline was just one of the ones that was lucky enough to contain it before it just people would truly went insane. And
Okay.
so yeah, he becomes a collector, and it is just the most absurd adventure set in the back rooms of like with the craziest cast of characters I could come up with. There's a 120-year-old vampire named Edie. A crude garden gnome named Bobo. The character that everyone absolutely loves is flying number 2 pencil. Like, that used to be Stephen King's understudy, and I just like love that so much. Like, I have gotten people so emotionally invested in a goddamn pencil. Like,
That's fantastic.
it's wonderful. Like, so it's absurd. Like, my initial goal was that it was going to be sort of an absurd sort of backrooms, X-Files. Like, the whole thing's wrapped up in conspiracies. I love conspiracies
Okay.
when they're fun and dumb.
Oh, for sure.
Illuminati lizard people, that type of stuff. It's hilarious. It's like when it's like that, and I love just going deep into those, and like so much of the plot is wrapped around, okay, what if all this stuff was true? Like, and it's, I want to say, said it was my attempt at a Hitchhiker's Guide or Good Omens. Then everyone's like, no, this is like Dungeon Crawler Carl, which I have never read, and now can't read because people have compared it to it. And that just kind of turns into a dick measuring contest where I'm the only one holding a ruler.
Yeah.
And that's just sad.
Yeah, no, I get the analogy and understand it. That's hysterical. No, it's a good book. See, I checked. It's good. We're good. Yeah. Okay. All right. So with all of that in mind, let's talk about story process. And I like to ask this question of authors because I love the variance of answers that I've gotten from it. Now, when it comes to you creating a story and putting it together to send it out into the world, do you like to build character first, or do you build your world first? And which way do you go and why?
Oh God. There is the way I should be doing it, and then there's the way that I end up doing it. And basically, my first book, Partition, was the most insane thing I've ever done or attempted to complete. Like, it was just a absolute moment of insanity to just get that story functional and working just by the narrative process of it. Like, best way I can explain it is I had a panic attack when I saw the trailer for season 1 of Severance, because I had just released this book, and it is basically Severance if it was much larger and cyberpunk. And
okay.
yeah. So the two, and again, also I have not seen Severance for that exact same reason. I don't want, like, every time I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm sure it's amazing. I don't want a panic attack. I'm good. But it's basically the main character. There's two main characters, and they share the same body. And one operates during the day, one operates during the night, and their stories are intercut. So, like, when you read it from page to page, it makes sense. But if you put it on a timeline, it is absolute insanity, where you'll have like a section break where chapter 4 occurs, and then like chapter 5 occurs after this chapter. It's just all sort of layered together in a way that just makes absolutely no sense. And it took me about 5 freaking years to write the entire thing.
Okay.
It absolutely defied any sort of summary or plotting that I was doing. Like, I mean, I tried to plot it on the wall once and ended up looking like that Charlie Day meme with him and all the red string. And so, yeah, that was that. After that whole mess, I decided I wanted to do like a simple story from A to B, and Welcome to the Deep Estate turned into this just it was an exercise for me to find the easiest way to write something, the fastest way to write something, and that naturally turns into, well, I know how to write comedy, and I can use it as a crutch whenever there's like I feel a bit of writer's block, or I don't know where to go. I will just work towards this joke, and I don't care how shameless it is. I want to insert this joke, and it's going to be the most self-indulgent thing, but I'm going to think it's fucking hilarious, and I'm the only one that matters when it comes to what's funny. And like it ended up like I wrote both books back to back as the same story in the first draft, because it was just like in terms of length, and then I just like cut it in half and then worked and to make both books separate things. But like it's my writing process for The Deep Estate has basically turned into setting up the situation, then putting John Doe, the main character, into that situation and just kind of finding out what happens. Like that's one of the things I love about writing so much is there's so much of it feels like my characters have a lot of agency that I did not intend.
Okay.
And like there was no like guide or summary for Welcome Deep Estate. I just kind of gave my main character the tools and the conflict and said, figure it out. And it kind of just went from there. Like, I think one of the most craziest things about it was Harry, the pencil, was never intended to be a major character. Like,
Okay.
she, like, I was just like, okay, their first mission is they're going to capture this flying deadly pencil. And then so they get there and it comes into like, okay, now they got to capture this pencil. And I was like, okay, well, there's a monster, slay the monster. And then John Doe being John Doe kind of is just like, why, man? Like, I don't want to, like, why are we fighting this thing? Like and he ended up befriending this pencil. And so now I had this flying pencil in the story following around the main character. I did not intend to have a flying pencil follow around. Like it's that meant she started like writing things and responding, and then started having personality behind this pencil. And then like there was one point where he's in jail and he needs to break out. And now Harry, who is not supposed to exist beyond that one chapter, is now helping him break out. And like there's this one throwaway joke that I had of like, this is so insane. There's an anomalous piece of chalk that he has that if you draw a circle on the wall and then you draw another circle on the wall, you go through the wall and come out the other side. It's basically a portal gun with chalk.
Nice.
They're basically like they're trying to escape. They're getting shot at, and just John tells Carrie, "Hey, like, okay, put a circle here, and then put a circle somewhere safe over there." And then Carrie makes a circle, and then starts writing down all this like, advanced like physics equations, and just doing a whole like Goodwill Hunting routine. And like wanting to know his weight just to get like the trajectory right. And the whole thing is just to turn into this bit of just having slingshotting through this infinite chasm of like nautical bathroom prison cells filled with like the craziest creatures can. And like it's hilarious. And then I realized like immediately afterwards, I just made the goddamn pencil a genius. Like, so
Yeah.
this pencil that wasn't supposed to exist beyond that chapter is now a sidekick and also really smart. And it she just kept becoming the most useful tool and character and sidekick and became so interwoven with the plot. I cannot imagine the book without her.
Nice. Okay.
And it's I mean, just like random shit like that, like, and then just diatribes that I could just put in there for rants. There's an entire segment I have told in the voice of David Attenborough on Sasquatch that is way too long, but was way too fun. And it was just like, I was like, I'm just going to have some blatant world building here and talk about Sasquatch. And I'll do it in the voice of David Attenborough because idea is just too cool not to have like a moment to sit here and just because like the whole entire idea is like I was like when I was doing research, one of the things I found is in almost every single culture there is some sort of legend or cryptid that is basically a big giant monkey. It is insane, like the Yeti, Sasquatch, Bekbuk, Chichunya, Oran Pingdek, like they're all just various, like around the world, just different versions of a Sasquatch. And I created this like liminal space called the Backwoods. And it's the reason we never see them is they're all living in liminal space in this specialized forest the size of South Carolina. And they're all just kind of living in there and occasionally coming back out into our reality, get some berries and get caught on some shaky 16 millimeter camera footage and then just going back. And like, so there's this entire just tangent in the second book on just like Sasquatch. Like I just decided, hey, here's a whole bunch of Sasquatch. I'm going to get into their culture, what they're like. They're super antisocial. I fucking love them.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I just, that book is, it feels dangerous because the more self-indulgent I get, the better it seems, but I can't tell if that's just for me or for everyone else, which has always been a problem with my comedy because it's just like what's funny for me is not always going to be funny for everyone else.
Well, comedy's always, objective, and how each person takes it and whether or not they have thin skin and are offended by it. So, and that's always a real thing too. All right. Well, you've done really well answering my questions up to this point, but I have one more for you. And I call it a silly question. And now it's not really all that silly, but we ask it anyway because, well, it's just a fun way to kind of wrap things up on the show. Now, the basic premise behind this question is that my live show co-host, Kathleen, was out and about with her daughter, and somebody asked her daughter this question, but not Kathleen. And Kathleen was like, well, that's pretty freaking rude. You should never age out of this question. And so that question is, Kevin Kane, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Easily velociraptors. I've had this very unscientific theory for the longest time that if you look at dogs, they're carnivores and pack animals. If you look at cats, they're carnivores. I think carnivores and those combinations tend to make natural great pets. So I figured if there was a way we could domesticate a dinosaur, we could have just Velociraptor Chihuahua or something like that. And it would be absolutely adorable. Like I want them just choking on their own snot, just Velociraptor pug or French bulldog. Just that sounds adorable.
I mean, I don't hate the idea. Because immediately my brain went to Velociraptor Pitbull. That could be fun.
Or an absolute killing machine, but like,
well, yeah, but I mean, so we've had Staffordshire pit bulls, American Staffordshire pit bulls, which I mean, their bodies look like they're ready to run through a brick house, but their brains, not so much. I mean, they're absolutely adorable and lovable creatures, but you know, like the one that we had, our family has, she doesn't live here with us, but it's my son's dog, and her name is Mia, and Mia is just the biggest lover on the face of the planet. She thinks she's a lap dog, and
I've grown up with pit bulls, and they are just most lovable killing machines is the best way. Like they are built like a tank, and they are just a fuzzy bunny inside.
Right. Yeah. Just hi, I'm a dog. And that's why that's when you start talking about, I'm like, a Velociraptor and a pit bull. That could be fun.
At the same time, I'm just thinking of like Velociraptor Cujo, and that sounds horrifying.
That does sound horrifying, actually. Yeah, very, actually.
Velociraptor Golden Doodle with like curly, downy feathers. Like, oh, that's adorable.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much for being on Pop Culture Addicts today. Where can my listeners and viewers go to find out more about you, your work, and whatever's coming up next?
Oh God. Okay. I'm on Threads on Kevin Kane, author. You can also find my Substack under Kevin Kane author, or just kevinkaneauthor.net. I mean, besides that, my two books are Take Back the Deep Estate and Welcome to the Deep Estate on Amazon and Audible. I highly suggest you take a listen on Audible. Those, like, the comedy just comes out perfectly when it's told to you versus when you read it on a page. And just those places. I'm usually posting dumb Onion articles and just dumb thoughts, and then just updates on writing is usually where you'll find that stuff too.
Okay. I can co-sign following him on Threads. It's a fun follow. You will get some humor out of it. But yeah, so check that out. And I'll make sure to I'll put those links down in the show notes down below so people know where to find you. And I'll put links on for your Amazon books, and so people can find your books on Amazon.
Awesome. Thank you so
guys.
much.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, thank you for watching and or listening. Be sure to follow Kevin Kane on his socials. Like I said, we'll have those down in the show notes down below. Now, if you enjoyed what you liked, heard, watched today, please be sure to click that like and follow button. And if you're a pop culture addict like me, please consider leaving a review on your favorite podcast listening platform, or just comment here on YouTube. That also helps as well. So, on behalf of Kevin Kane, thank you for watching and or listening today. And may the force be with you as you continue to live long and prosper. Goodbye. Reference to any specific product or entity mentioned on this podcast does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by Pop Culture Addicts. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. If you have questions about this disclaimer, please contact us via email at info@pcapod.com.